Welcome back to episode 8 of the GT series. So in the last 2 videos you've seen me stripping down the front of the engine, trying to get down to do the cam belt change. In this video what I want to do is make sure that new cam belt gets on the engine. If I'm lucky, if I really push on, I'll try and get the engine back together, the front of the engine back on, and if we're super lucky I'll try and get it started. I don't think I'm going to get that far. Before I dive in though, I want to say a big thank you to all the members. That's really helping. You're helping keep this channel alive. There's still plenty of room in there if anyone else wants to join. There's a little button down the bottom here somewhere, it says join. Click it. Really appreciate any support. Everything helps. As a bare minimum, please click the like button. That massively helps these videos get seen by other people. Right, for now though, let's just jump in there. I'm going to get busy stripping down the last final bits and get that cam belt on. Join me, let's see how I get on. Right, I think it's that time in the evening where I should drain the block. I've got everything ready. Yeah, and I think there's 2 bolts either side with 2 plugs that I just undo and that will drain out. I need to empty my containers because it's going to be a lot of liquid. I think the liquid coming down the front, okay, there's a lot of oil, but I've dried all that up. And what I'm seeing now is what I reckon is coolant. So whether I've undone some of the nuts I've undone are the ones that go into the water jacket and it's now sort of seeping out a little bit, or whether there's a leak down there, maybe in the water pump. I don't know, but we're going to find out very soon, I think. If it's in the water pump, obviously it'll be resolved when I swap the pump. Otherwise, it might just be one of these bolts, who knows. But let's get under there now and I'll undo these nuts, bolts, plugs, wherever they are.
Yep, I got it. So that is definitely the draining plug for the block. There's a lot of liquid coming out. I just hope, I don't know how big this tub is, it's probably 10 litres, isn't it? Something like that. But it's pouring out everywhere because it kind of bounces on all of the parts on the way down. I don't know what else is up there, but there's a lot of liquid coming out. I know that.
Just trying to draw the shape of the water pump, which is something like that, I think. Along those lines, and then we've got the big thingy there, and there's the big spindle that it got stuck on, you know, where I was trying to undo this 4mm Allen key. That one's there. Now some of these bolts go into the water jacket. I don't know which one. I think it's this big long one, but we'll find out in a minute. I have only drained one side of the engine, mainly because I can't get to the other side because it's tight up against the wall. So we're going to find out if that's okay. But yeah, let's just start undoing. Let's find my 10mm and we can go for it. Yeah, kind of what I suspected. That's the new water pump, and that I don't need to take out. This is the replacement rod that I bent. But what I can do is, while I'm holding it, I can just look around it and just check I've got all of the bolts out that are visible, and I have. So that is now free. Like every job on these cars, nothing goes quite as you expect. So I'm still trying to get this stupid water pump off. Let me get some light in there so we can see what's going on. It's not, oh, I got it, look. So you just got to wobble it a bit slowly, that will come out, I suspect. I think these have 2 locating pins, if I remember. And someone's probably, knowing this car, put sealant on it or something. There we are, so that's the water pump off. That was a plastic impeller one, which is a good one, isn't it? Let's give you a bit of a better angle of how I'm cutting this off. So razor blade sort of quite flat, and just cutting behind the gasket. There it is. The whole thing comes off in one go. I'll just check the other surfaces to see if there's any other sort of big lumps that want to come off while I've got this. So that's what mine looks like after I've gone over it with the razor blade. I've removed all of the gasket, but that's looking pretty good, I think. Okay, so now it's time to get the tensioner out. This is the pivot one for the air pump. virtually undone already. Right, Mr. Tensioner, you are off. So there, oh hello, it's dripping out there, isn't it oil? No, dirt, brilliant. So let's take that indoors now and tidy it up. So I'm going to start tidying up the tensioner. There's a few bits, there's like a little rubber cap there, obviously some oil draining out. What I want to do is just make it look a little bit tidier first. I'm going to close up the clamp. I just hope it's the right size. It's how it came from Porsche and it's the correct one for this job, so let's just hope. It's too late now, I guess. Looks pretty good actually, doesn't it? Oh yeah. So now I just need to get it in. I've also got to put it into the air pump first. Put one bolt through the bottom bolt, which I just grabbed out. Put a little bit of copper grease on, anti-seize. I can tell you, getting this bolt in is probably the hardest part of the entire job. So getting this bracket onto the air pump is hard. Getting that bolt to actually bind in there is also very hard. So something definitely to watch out for. Right, that's the air pump on, sorry, the tensioner on finger tight without, finger tight now is it, but without over torquing. I'm still going to go check that one. In fact, I'm not going to check it, I'm just going to do it because I can see on the bolt X Loctite, so it must be, and okay, the last job I want to do today then is the tension arm with the 2 rollers, and I have the 2 new rollers here. Part numbers, if that helps again. You'll probably see that one and that one, hopefully. But first we just take it apart. Kind of know if it's the right size then. There we go. That sort of rotates smoothly, and I'm down tight for the clip. Right, let's pop the clip back on then. Okay, so what I've done then with the water pump gasket is I've put a very light coating of sealant on, almost like glue, and I'm just going to use that. I mean, it's super light. Literally a smear. I'm going to use that pretty much to stick it onto the block. I mean, it will obviously act like a sealant as well, but that's I'm not putting copious amounts of it on. Then I'm going to do the same on the water pump again. It's a pretty thin smear, just all the way around. You can install them dry apparently. I just feel this just adds that little bit more security, I think. I mean, I've done it on the 79 car, so I feel it worked there. I've never had a single leak or anything with that car. On all of it, the water pump, the oil pump, the tensioner, everything. Actually, the tensioner is sealed, so that can't leak anyway. You know what I mean. Head gaskets, sump. That is considered as my first one. I'm really pleased with how that's been. Super thin layer. Trying to do it quick so it doesn't start to set or anything. I think it's quite slow setting, but not taking any risks. There we go. Right, that's all the way around. Right, now I'm just going to offer the water pump up. Now there's a couple of locating pins which should just click into position if I get it right. It's just a game now of going around and putting these bolts back in. And I'm going to do a little dab of copper grease. I'm not going to be putting these in tight, just sort of fairly pretty much finger tight, just to get it all going, and then we'll come around and torque them up. Newton meters 10, okay, before I get too carried away. All done. Right, that's the water pump on. Just to speed things along a little bit, I've gone ahead and put on that inner casing here, the plastic one, nothing too exciting, and refitted the these lower rollers. Now what I'm going to do is put on the oil pump. Not far away from getting this sorted now, are we? So it's pretty good. Right, it's tightening up at least. There we are. Right, we don't need to get too carried away with that, do we? So that's the oil pump on, good. I've put the main crank pulley cog thing on. I've got this on, these are all clicked on correctly. Water pump's all torqued up. Belt tensioner's torqued up. Not putting one in the top one there, which I did earlier, which is wrong. I think we're probably ready now to put the belt on. I also put the dipstick back on. You notice that's been sprayed up quite nice. Makes it a little bit tidier. Yeah, I think we're ready to put the belt on. Right, so the Cambelt I've got here is a Porsche one, actually supplied by Design 911. I forget how much it was, probably about 70 quid, something like that. So you can see that is, we're going on first time. I'm just looking around for the Porsche logo, check it is what I thought it is, power chain Porsche, yeah, okay, good. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start from the what is passenger side in the UK. Oh, actually, what I need to do first is thread it through the wire, don't I? The wiring harness. Let's put that through like that first. This is literally the first time I've put this belt on, so you're going to see all the mistakes I make, which is going to be a lot, let's face it. Let's just try and get it in some rough shape and put the other bit of the wiring harness through. What I'm trying to do is get it around the top corner here first. So if I can just get it around that top cam like that, then I'm going to come around the oil pump. My theory here, by the way, is that I want to get both cams and the crank are lined up at the moment. I'm going to try and thread it around here like this and then around the top and get all of these slack around the tensioner and then deal with it there. First, I just want to try and get it on in roughly the right shape. It's actually quite confusing when you start doing this where the belt goes. So I think if I can just get it roughly on there, that would be a pretty decent start. Obviously the belt tension I've not put on yet, and I believe that's correct. I leave that off for the moment. But what I do need to do is take off this arm, because I can't put the spindle on there, but also it's in the way of me putting the belt. So let's quickly do that. Now I probably only need to undo this one, as I can swing the arm out the way to make room for the belt tensioner. Belt tensioner arm. So we're going to go round there like that, around there like that, around this top cam, something like that when we get to it. I'm going to be, as I say in a minute, I'm going to be worrying about all the slack. About that, we're still lined up. And then come around the bottom, around the oil pump. Checking we're roughly tight around the oil pump like that. It's actually really tight through the crank here. Right, it's a bit loose on that side, so I'm going to have a look at that in a second. Right, that's looking pretty good, isn't it? As I say, we'll worry about exactly whether it's tight enough in a minute. I'm going to pull that a little tighter if I can. It's actually really hard to know how tight is tight enough. Let's pull it out of there for a second. Just threading it a little bit tighter through the crank. When you do this, it's a lot about, you know, we're doing it all for the first time kind of thing. Okay, I've done my 79 car before a couple of years ago, but I don't know. You know, you just kind of have to wing it a little bit. What is tight enough? See, that's really nice and tight in there now. That was a good tightening session I just did there, right there. That is really taut, nice. Nice. That could be one tooth more, I bet, around here. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get this on like this, and then I'm just going to run around and check all of the cams are sort of aligned correctly. This one up here, I wouldn't mind if this was half a tooth rotated. I tried to turn it by hand. It was really hard, so I kind of left it. See, I wouldn't cry if that was one more round. Right, then we just need to put the tensioning arm in. Now what I do need to check is if I've got this wound out far enough. I don't know at the moment, but that needs to be able to push right. Is that sitting straight again? That's it. That needs to be able to push right deep inside there to allow me to get the belt tensioner arm on. Where's the little nipple thing? Should just fit within it. Where are you? Come on. Keeping the belt on and trying to get it into the little nipple that's here. It's not straightforward. Yeah, it's not straightforward. So what I want to do is get it in there. Like, see, I got primed up there with the word like that and failed. Right, that's in. But now obviously the belt's not on, so the belt is kind of the deal breaker in this party, isn't it? So if I can't get the belt on, there's no point doing it at all. I'm a million miles out with it in the little nipple thing, with it in the correct place over the roller and everything else. It is a bit of faff, I'll be honest. That looks correct. This does not look correct, but it will be correct in a minute. How the hell does it go over there then? See, I can get that roller on the shaft like that. My back hurts. There's no way you can. It's that awkward sort of position. Just to make sure I'm not going mad, I've put the belt tensioner in, or belt tensioner arm in, and put the belt around it just to make sure it actually goes there, and it does. The problem is, it's very hard getting the nipple of the belt tensioner into its little groove and the arm aligned on that spindle and the belt put on it. That's really hard unless you've got a lot of slack, and I just don't have that much slack. I've slackened this off as far as it will go. So now I've got the problem up here, obviously, on the cam, which I'm going to try and do, basically try and deal with, try and get it on there. I don't know why that tension is not going back further, if it's supposed to. I guess it should go back further. The adjuster's really far out. I don't see how much further it can go back. I mean, I can pull it with my arm a little bit, but we're talking, you know, a centimetre at most. It can't go back much further, because then you start fouling on the side of the tension. So I think it's probably almost in the right place. So I'm not going to do it anymore. It's certainly puzzling, I'll tell you that. Let's have a go then. So I'm trying to get the cam belt on here. If I pull it, that's about half a tooth out. So I've got to decide which way to turn the cam. I think I'm going to turn it slightly like I was doing before, if I can. It's so hard to turn. Like that. Right, that looks lined up good now. If I can get the belt in there. Where are we? See, I think I can get the belt on like this. Yeah, I can get the belt on like that, but I couldn't do it at the tensioner. But now the tensioner, see, that feels all right. Nice bit of slack there that I can take up. All right. I don't know about you, but I'm shattered. It's the leaning over into the engine bay that's hard. That is the tiring part. All right, look, what I'm going to do then is, this arm isn't fully on the spindle yet, or it is now. I'm just going to make sure everything's lining up correctly. I'm going to get the little 4mm screw in there, and then we'll crank the engine round by hand and just check it at TDC, check everything lines up. Obviously I need to put the harmonic balancer back on in all its beauty, since that's had a bit of a shine, and just see where we are. All right, we're slowly getting there, aren't we? It's so long. It's because there's so many little bits to do, and obviously I'm filming in little tiny segments in the gaps I get in the evenings and weekends. Anyway, I think we're at the point now where I can get under the car, take out the locking tool on the flywheel, and we start cranking it by hand, make sure everything lines up correctly, go around a couple of times, check the cams, the sort of TDC markers are correct. Basically, I'm going to do that and just see where we are. Who knows? Could be, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be right, but who knows? I'm going to get once more over on the engine, just sort of look it over and make sure I've not forgotten to tighten anything up. I don't think I have. I just want to check alignment of a few things as well. But yeah, let's get that going. Last thing before we go and put the undo the locking bolt is to put the harmonic balancer on. Now, I am super proud of that. You can see how beautifully that's come up. This is black paint, black hammerite, let it set really hard. Then I put this white enamel in, and then when that was dry, well, you saw me, I polished it out. Pretty pleased with myself on that one. I have got the one more thing to put on there, haven't I? This little gem here with the F on it, wherever I wrote F there. That just goes on to keep the belt in place. Where is it? It's keyed, so again, I can't get it wrong. Like that. And then the harmonic balancer. Again, keyed. Keyed for my pleasure. There, like that. And we're sitting at 45. That, really pleased with that. Now, from memory, I'm just going to wing it from memory. You put it on that way. You put it on midway between the two, like that. Come on, get on. Yeah, I'm going to have to go read it up, aren't I? You do that and then you bend it and it registers where it is. Let me get the instructions again. Okay, I've reminded myself how to use the tool. I'll do it a few times and then we can sort of make sure that you get a good angle. So you take the tool like that, handle at the bottom facing that way, spring sort of facing that way. You put it on the belt about here, which is midway between the cam and the idler, and then you push it fully on and then rotate it up until it touches the metal housing at the back of the cams, you know, the block, basically, what I'd call the block. And you're reading, now I can tell that's two things. If I just show you here, where are you? There you are. Focus. As you do that, this springs open like that. I don't want to do it too much. There's a little pointer there and it comes into this window here. And you're looking to see that it's midway in that window. As I'm doing mine, it's staying approximately where it is now, just it's deflecting a little tiny bit. So I'm going to tighten up a little bit more with the spanner and try again. So good turns, the little quarter turns, because I can't move the spanner much. Like that. Okay, we're just coming into the window now, so At least I know I'm making some difference to it. Where are we now? Right, I am actually midway in the window, exactly midway. Right, now I've got the cam belt in the right ballpark. Remember, I'm not trying to set it at the moment because I'm not a TDC. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't too loose and was going to jump off the teeth. I'm now going to rotate the engine round to TDC. I'm actually going to go around a few times. TDC now. Okay, let's have a look at the teeth. That's pretty good. And that is pretty good. I mean, it's quite a vague mark where they look, where it lines up. It's not exactly a precise dot to dot thing. And this is there's quite a wide gap on the cams. But I think we're looking pretty good. Right, now I'm going to test the cam belt. Now we're at TDC, I can test it properly. And we are sitting a little bit loose. Now we're in bang center, bang in the center. That's good. Now with the luxury of two tools, I'm going to test with both of them. So this is the other one I've got. And that is bang center as well. So it's nice to see that they're both reading the same. Well, that was pretty successful. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to try and get the rest of the engine back on. It's pretty straightforward. I'm also not going to try and start it. Technically, you can start it without coolant in, by the way, but the coolant's just arrived, so I kind of feel I may as well get the rest of the engine on and then put the coolant in and start it for reals. Yeah, hopefully that's useful. That's covered as much as I can on putting the cam belt on. It's a pain in the butt. I think if you were really speed running that, you could do it in probably 3 to 4 hours, something like that. I've actually got a cam belt change coming up on a friend's car, and I'm tempted to do it in one take, live, not streamed, but just a live video, real time, and we'll see how long it is. Might be fun. Anyway, as ever, thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you next time.